what do Grease, Bye Bye Birdie, Little Shop of Horrors, and the Rocky Horror Picture Show all have in common? Not only are they some of the most famous musical theater productions of all time, but they've been produced by our very own Queens community. The Private Eye decided to interview members of QMT, Queens Musical Theater, an independent student-run organization, to find out what they're all about. Interestingly, the club represents a long-standing Queens tradition of drama and could possibly be one of the oldest established societies on campus. As far back as 1883, Queens had the original Glee Club, which later became what is known today as Queens Musical Theater in 1969. For over 50 years, QMT has been an influential and inspiring part of the artistic community at Queens.
Q stands for Queens Musical Theater, and what it is pretty much exactly like it says in the name. It's an outlet for students to do musical theater here at Queens. The great thing about it is that you can do more than one musical a year, and the musicals aren't your standard ones that are always picked like you have in high school, you know, the PG musicals. We do all kind of musicals, from the Gilbert and Sullivans and the classics to, you know, the more risque ones and the more contemporary ones like, you know, Spring Awakening or Rocky Horror Show, and we do pretty much the entire expanse of it all. So one year we may have, you know, the classic musical, and then the other year we may have one that was just done 2 years ago on Broadway. So you get a great mix of different things, and that's mainly what the club is all about, just presenting musicals for the Queens community and having students participate in those.
Board chooses a director and a producer. So this year it's Radissen and myself, and the director and the producer get together and they essentially come up with a few shows that they'd be happy to do. They investigate whether or not the rights are available for those shows, and they pitch those shows to the board, and the board basically chooses the show that they think best suits what they want to do that year. So how much they can spend on rights, that will be taken into consideration. Whether or not they want to do a big name show, if they're looking for something different than last year, they'll take all that into account, and basically out of the shows that we pitched, they picked this one, and we love it, so we're happy.
This year was, we actually kind of started out wanting Golden Age musicals and ended up with not really either of the two. So I think that we're always open to any show. We're open to lots of ideas. We just want to get the community out there and get them to come see the show.
What we're trying to do with this show, it's called The Mystery of Edwin Drood, and the big thing about it is it's set in this Victorian music hall, and this music hall company is trying to put on Charles Dickens' last novel that he didn't complete because he died. So it's called The Mystery of Edwin Drood, and they're trying to provide an ending for it. So they didn't want to be, you know, very vain and try to, you know, choose their own ending, so they let the audience vote on the ending for the show. So we're doing it, you know, full music hall style. We're taking a lot of elements from the old Victorian music halls and we're incorporating it into the show. There's a lot of audience interaction. We're pretty much just going to do it with a lot of audience interaction as they would have done back in the music halls back in the day.
The show isn't the normal musical theater show you'd go see. So some of this music has a little bit of a classical feel to it. Not enough to take away from the musical theater, but it forces a lot of the singers to get into get out of their chest voice and get more into a bit of a more legato classical type voice. So that is definitely a challenge, which has been a lot of fun because it's been a challenge for the actors, and therefore it's been a challenge for me because I try and teach them and I've been trying to help them. And this is the first time I've ever done this, so I've never taught music to them, so it's been a lot of fun.
Queens Musical Theater is unique in the sense that it is entirely student-produced and performed, providing students the opportunity to gain valuable experience to demonstrate their dramatic ability. Professionalism is an important aspect of QMT, who puts on 2 major shows during the academic school year.
This is one of the big things that QMT prides itself on. We are a big club and we do put on big shows, but if someone wants to learn, we're more than willing to give them the opportunity to do so. So people have come in and gotten positions like director or producer or things like that without much experience. We do ask that you have some just so you know the role you're getting into, but even for those people who don't have experience, we have assistant positions where they can just shadow the person doing the position so they can learn more about it and get experience that way.
I haven't really had formal vocal training or dance or anything like that, so it's really good working with QMT because a lot of the time there are people who have more training than you and who end up in sort of the choreographer positions and things like that, and you learn a lot.
I looked into QMT, and I've always been on the acting and the singing side of it, and I just thought, you know what, I'm looking forward to being a teacher, hopefully, and I just thought this was such an exciting and great opportunity to be on the other side. You know, I've never been in the auditions and actually been part of all the auditions. I've only ever come into a room and seen them, so it's been a lot of fun to just be on the design side instead of, you know, and seeing everything that goes on behind the scenes, because I was never aware of that before, so.
No one's paid. We're all just doing this because we love it.
Yeah. Oh,
Yep.
Students from all faculties work tirelessly on all elements of production, from directing, producing, sound, lighting, staging, choreography, costumes, and oh yeah, not to mention singing, dancing, and acting. For many students, it is an honor to be a part of the cast. It is an unbelievably rewarding experience and great learning opportunity.
You know, the cast is amazing. I can't even stress how great they are. So, I mean, just everything, you know, the energy when they come into the room, like the excitement they get when they sing a song, just everyone's creative and everyone's excited to be doing it. So it's not, you never feel like people are dragging you down. Everybody's up and excited all the time, and it's a lot of fun.
It's been phenomenal. QMT, it's just such a great group of people. Everyone's really friendly, very professional, and just likes to have a good time. And we put up some great shows.
Excellent. QMT is an integral part of the cultural fabric of this school. Students work tirelessly to prepare near-professional shows at an affordable price. Be sure to check out the fall production of The Mystery of Edwin Drood, starring our very own Queen's talent, running from January 10th to 21st in Convocation Hall, located in Theological Hall. Or check out their website at www.queensmusicaltheatre.net. And in the words of my favorite musical theatre production, The Lion King, Hakuna Matata. This has been Grace Johnson reporting for The Private Eye.